Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Kingdom Fossilizer Ractonite. And a Ractonite is this awesome looking fossilized Styracosaurus. He's the second deluxe fossilizer we've gotten. I've been really enjoying the fossilizers so far. I think that they just hit a mark for me that the weaponizers and the modulators didn't. But yeah, so here is Ractonite. I think he looks great. I will say, just right off the bat, I don't love the way they applied the weathering on him. I like the choice of color. I like that he's white with some gray. I think it helps him stand out from the other fossilizers a little bit. But if we look closely at this paint application, I mean, it's just very clearly you can see like some just messy brush lines and stuff. I get that it's a wash, but I wonder maybe if it had been thinned out a little bit or something. I like, for example, the sections here where, you know, there's a bit of a mask, so we get some white, and then we get the contrast with the gray wash. But other than that, it just looks a little messy. I might end up trying to clean mine off and seeing what just a white version might look like. But aside from that, like, again, you know, we've got white bone most places. We've got the red eye, which I really like. I like the Predacon logo on him. I really like seeing that on toys. That just makes me happy. And then we've got, you know, two tones of gray. And what I really like here is I get that from a molding perspective, it probably would have been expensive to have steel molding that actually had the hollow ribs everywhere. So I like that on Ractonite they painted it black. That looks really good to me. By comparison, on our previous fossilizer, we can see there that there's no real paint. There's like this bronze wash, which this wash works better. I think these colors just work better. But I would have loved to see black paint in here as well. Just would have been neat to see. But other than that, I mean, Ractonite is looking pretty good. He's pretty poseable also for a beast mode. I dig, you know, we've got a head waggle here. We can go, you know, side to side. We can open it up. He's got a peg where his tongue should be. But the peg actually works for me. Like if you put it on the lower half of his mouth, I think that works as like just the bottom of his jaw. I dig that. We've got forward and backward bend up here, as well as a swivel. I guess that's like almost shoulder equivalent. And then we've got, you know, a nice bend right here to get his legs in the position you need them. They can extend out like so. No ankle tilt on the front legs, but I think that's okay and to be expected. The thighs back here, he can go splitsies if you need him to. He's got a decent forward bend and backward bend on the knee. We've got more swivel back here. You can really get these back legs just in whatever position you want. And then he does have ankle tilts on the back. So, you know, if you want him in just a more aggressive stance, like he's, you know, protecting some territory and roaring at an approaching predator or something, you can absolutely do that. Overall, let me not bump the camera, sorry about that. Overall, Ractonite is another fossilizer that just makes me really, really happy with the concept. We can bring in his buddy so far, right here. Oh, actually, let me go get vertebrate. So what really makes me happy about the fossilizers is I just really like their alt mode a lot more than I did weaponizers. Weaponizers were cool because it's like, oh, these G1 characters that we didn't have before we're getting, which is neat. Modulators, you know, it was the base modes were kind of neat, but I didn't like the display features as well as Titan's Return did. But these just having like, oh, I'm going to get this cool line of fossilized dinosaurs to have on my shelf, that just makes me really happy. And Ractonite being another of that member is awesome. I really like the way they look together. I love that they're all evil Predacons. They just work for me. They really work for me. All right, let's get these two off and let's get him transformed. Again, being a fossilizer, all he does is rip apart and come back together in a different order. So we can take off his head, we can take off his front legs, we can take off, I don't remember if his back legs need to come off his hips. You can split them. They have that joint there. You can use that, you know, with cup and stuff. But I'm pretty sure we can just leave them on as is. We can separate out his rib cage and then separate out his tail. So these are his component parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. To get him transformed, we're going to start out with these legs. We're going to take his torso. It's got a hole right here, and we can just stick it on top. Nice and simple. We've got his Styracosaurus skull. Oh, one thing that can separate also, this does have a tab in it, so if you ever want to use this part by yourself, as well as these horns, they can absolutely come apart. I find myself, I just like the skull together most of the time I play with him, so I just keep like that. We're going to come in, and we're going to push down on this gray peg so that we want to get it popping out from the bottom of his mouth. There we go. Stick it on his shoulder like so. Same thing on this side. We're going to fold this in like so, and then fold this piece up 90 degrees. And there's a port here that goes into this peg here, or this slot there, and that's his other shoulder. And then his arms, we're going to extend out his little heel pieces, and those form his hands. Put that back on. Same thing on this side, coming in at the elbow, pulling out that peg, and then we can have his sword right here. And the last thing we do is just flip up that head. We'll get that camera up just a little bit. And here is Ractonite, and again, he looks like this awesome skeletal warrior. It's weird. It's very visually unique amongst Transformers figures, and that makes me really, really happy. His articulation, again, because of his transformation method, is pretty good. We've got good head tilt here. I do want to say I really like his weird face. Like, I like that, you can have this like helmeted visor, coming up, gives him like a knightly look. Those red eyes are painted well, but then this weird like black pharaoh chin inside the helmet. I really, really dig. Obviously, 360 joints where they exist, bicep swivel, and all that stuff. I will say, for mine, I got to put some future floor polish on this waist joint because that is pretty loose. But again, because of the way he transforms and his sublimb articulation, you can get Ractonite in some pretty good poses as is. And he looks really, really good, again, next to his buddies. Getting the skeletal squad in here, that looks awesome. Makes me real happy again. And I think we're getting one more, which I'm excited for. So getting them all together is going to look really, really awesome on your shelves. And again, for Ractonite, he is a fossilizer, which basically is just a fancy, cool weaponizer. Real quick, I do want to point something out here. So he's got these nice heels. I confused myself the first time I transformed him because I was expecting, like, the heels are detailed to the point where they almost look like toes. I thought those are maybe robot toes. But then, like, it tampers his knee articulation if you bend him backwards. I guess I would have liked a swivel joint somewhere to flip this foot around because I think in robot mode it just helps distinguish himself a little more if you can have that toe pointed forward and still have the deep knee articulation. But yeah, other than that, and his, paint wash, I got no real complaints here. I think he's my favorite of the fossilizers so far, and I like what we can do with his weapon chunks, which we can do right now. Okay, so we can bring in someone like, let's say, Exhaust. First off, people have built all sorts of cool stuff with fossilizers. I'm only showing a couple of my personal, the things I really like. I really like turning Ractonite's backbone into a lance. Let's get it up in there. Exhaust, I thought you were holding this earlier. You know what? I was trying to use someone that wasn't an Autobot just because Ractonite... There we go. So yeah, Huffer can hold him as a lance. You can take his back legs, turn them into launchers or something. I really like this piece, like the skeleton turning it into a launcher. We can stick it on the end of Inferno or Grapple. Just as a combined shield and gun, I dig that a lot. Yeah, I think that again, like the weaponizers just work for me in a way, or sorry, the fossilizers just work for me in a way that the weaponizers didn't really do it. And Ractonite, I'm just enjoying him a lot along with the rest of the fossilizers. So he is an easy recommendation. I think you get a lot of value for your money for, you know, 20 bucks. I think I got mine a little on sale, so like $15. You can do a lot with him. And in fact, originally I bought a couple of the weaponizers because I was trying to like build up more. I realized like there's just better people at doing that than I do. I like looking at other people's builds rather than doing my own multi-character combinations. I just want Ractonite by himself. So that means that this is in fact a giveaway video. I think I mentioned it last week that I was going to do this because again, if you're watching this, I am out of town. I'm on vacation in Colorado right now. So I couldn't announce the winner today, so I thought I'd push it back 1 week, do the giveaway today, and then I'll be back in town to announce the winner next weekend. The rules for my giveaways are always the same. All you have to do is enter a comment below saying, I would like to enter to win Ractonite. And then I will gather up all the comments that say that, and then I will draw a random winner and announce it next week. All right. That's it for today's video. Ractonite's awesome. I'm really loving the fossilizers, and I'll catch everyone later. See ya!